You're welcome, everyone. Tricia here with Align by Faith. In today's episode, I have a guest speaker on with me. I connected with her on social media, which is such a beautiful tool to have to make new connections with people throughout the world. And her name is Gina Brogan, and she's known as the Freedom Queen. And we have worked a little bit together. I tapped into one of her programs, and now I'm inviting her into my world and to spotlight what she does on the earth with her clients. And we're just going to have a authentic conversation today. It's funny because when I connect with people, there's always something similar that we both experienced in this lifetime. And so that's how God uses us, the universe uses us to like expand our message and expand tools, make healing tools infinitely accessible to others who may have a challenging relationship or a challenging circumstance in their life, and they're trying to raise it up in frequency and see it as not only a challenge, but a blessing that they get to transform in this world, in this lifetime. So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Gina and let her talk a little bit more about maybe her history or whatever she feels called to share about today. And then we'll just bounce back and forth here for, we'll go for about probably 15 to 20 minutes and we'll see what unfolds for us. All right. So Gina, welcome.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Tricia. And I appreciate having this opportunity to just have a conversation about the way that we use and experience our life challenges and how they are the actual gifts that are wrapped up in funny wrapping paper that we at first might be resistant to until we enter this place in our consciousness, I guess, in our understanding of how life really is. And we see every experience as a gift, the whole from why is this happening to me to whoa, this is happening for me.
Mhm.
What is the gift? And hi, Trisha's audience. I am Gina Brogan. I am the Freedom Queen, and I teach this all day, every day. When something that is presented to us that feels at first like it's a scary, uninvited guest, when we have the power to say, I know that there's a gift here, and we can look inside and unwrap that gift by experiencing a deeper questioning with ourselves, within ourselves. And the easiest way I teach this or communicate this or do this for myself is I recognize when I'm triggered by something, when
Mhm.
something just, when I'm just like having a reaction. I call it, if it's hysterical, it's historical. So the way I look at that is like if there's a level 2 experience, like maybe somebody cut you off in traffic, or maybe your laptop dies, which happened to me today. And when you experience something that's a level 2 life event that maybe the person right next to you would have no reaction to, but you're having a level 10 response. Oh my God, can you believe it? Honking the horn. Did you see what that guy did to me? Oh my gosh. And you're actually freaking out like the inner toddler that we all have. And when we can see our triggers as portals to investigate, whoa, that was interesting. That's when we can we we experience life in a way that creates more safety. For example, the guy who cut me off, let's say, he cut me off and I'm having a level 10 experience about it. And then my friend is like, oh, hey, what's going on? Let me give you an example. I have an example from yesterday. It's so good, so good. My girlfriend and I went paddleboarding on the lake and we pulled up the beach. We live on this little lake in this community. And the beach we pulled up to, the parking lot was full, and everyone was there. It was, one of the first weekends of summer. The weather is perfect, and she goes, "What are all these people doing here? I can guarantee you, most of these people don't live here." And I just looked at her. So she's having kind of a level 8 experience about like the crowded beach on the Sunday afternoon. And I look at her and I go, "Oh, okay. Hi, Judge Judy." And she just saw me calling her out. She goes, "Oh my God, right?"
Yeah.
And but she was already sort of triggered by wanting to have a peaceful day on the lake. And so there was something there for her to go, I was really charged about that. um and then it's her opportunity, or mine if that was me who did it. It's like our opportunity to go, why was I so amped up about like the crowded beach? What was the message I was getting? I can't get peace. I'm not, everyone's out to get me. um I just wanted to relax. And it's like we automatically can go into this victim mode, I guess, of
Mhm.
the world isn't safe. And while that might be a small example, it's a really clear way to say, like, for me, it was like, well, of course everybody's here at the beach. And look at the lake. There's not nobody on the lake. It didn't affect me one bit. So when
Yeah.
we can look at ourselves and go, where are we having these little, I call them little toddler moments, we get to know where we're looking for love.
Mhm.
Because what I know, the way it works for me to understand this concept of humanity and how we evolve and develop is that we all came into the world, and we may have had like the physical um, love that we needed, the physical taking care of, we're fed, we're housed for the most part, we're educated. So our bodies can grow and develop into these adult bodies. Our brains even grow into intellectual brains where we have, degrees and jobs and we do adult things. However, it is quite common for women in general, men too, for people to not get the emotional needs met in
Mhm.
early childhood. So then we build these protection mechanisms, because we look around and see what is safe to do and be, and who do we get to be, and we build these walls around our hearts. And when we don't have that emotional parenting and nourishment and development, we grow into these adult bodies doing adult things, but with the emotional development of a toddler sometimes. That's why you will see adults having meltdowns and tantrums.
Yeah.
And so a big part of what I do with people is help them do that, creating that safety within themselves, learning to meet their own emotional needs that weren't met in childhood, so that they can be more fully integrated, have healthy relationships with themselves, with others, with money, with life, and live their fullest expression of life. Be free. That's the freedom piece. When you are safe to live the fullest expression of you, you're not looking over your shoulder, who's judging me, who's looking at
Mhm.
me, who's, why are they cutting me off in traffic? They must be out to get me. It's a way fun way to live.
Yeah.
And that's where we experience freedom in every aspect of life. And we can receive love and give love freely without strings.
Absolutely.
So that's in a nutshell.
I love that. You're talking a lot about the emotional freedom of knowing, having self-compassion for yourself first so you can have it for others. And
Yeah.
I've created some e-guides about how to heal from your past so you can
Mm-hmm.
live free today. And it talks about when you're triggered and like what is a trigger? A trigger is a part of you that is just asking for more love.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
once you understand it, and I shared on my podcast this week, it has been one of the biggest blessings for me to be aware of this emotional intelligence that's available to me because many of the relationships I've had, I have shared that, the people that were hurt, they were numbing with alcohol and marijuana. A lot of the people around me that in my early childhood and even into adulthood. And it's because they couldn't cope with un those real feelings of, yes, there was a time in our lives when our parents dismissed us because we're all humans and we're all doing the best we can with what we have in the world. I mean, my dad wasn't a part of my life till I was 14 because of his addiction. And, so learning like he is a human. He was a human being first and foremost. And, our human can really feel self-righteous. Our humans can really feel
Yeah,
prideful, but our soul does not know anything but unconditional love. And,
absolutely.
and
Yes.
so understanding there's a part of me that has unconditional love for all of my human emotions and all of my human feelings that I can tap into, and I don't need another person to
Hmm.
validate me. That is the freedom that I feel like I hear you talking about, that you can teach
Hmm.
people to have an understanding. And so one of the things that I shared before I moved to North Carolina, I was working in a rehab center with God has used me as a sober person, sober human in this world to help
Hmm.
people that are struggling with substance abuse.
Hmm.
And so I tell them, like, look, like personal responsibility, like you have to
Yep.
learn to give yourself the love and grace that you want before anybody else can give it to you. And teaching them that, like they realize, like, wow, it's that simple, but it's not like the addiction to the struggle and the suffering that
Yeah.
is so rampant in our ego brains. And so, yeah, it's just beautiful because that's true freedom. Once you know that, give yourself grace and compassion and learn to love, accept, even and love those triggers. Oh, there you are again. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like learn to
Uh-huh.
laugh at yourself, learn to like childlike play. And there's a lot of my community are faith-based people,
Hmm.
Christians particularly. And I've been sharing about how I, as someone who has a personal relationship with Jesus, can activate people because I'm not the religious Christian. I'm very spiritual connected. And
Yes.
all the tools that I know now, Jesus has been like the person, like my mentor, like spiritual mentor. Like he guides me to, like I pray to him every morning and he guides me to different places and tools and like Kundalini yogas, for example. So things that normal Christians wouldn't be open to, I had a beautiful experience with that has allowed me to live that freedom of peace and prosperity, no matter what circumstances are in
Yeah.
my, like, no matter what my bank account is, I feel like the most abundant person in the world.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's the gift of learning how to see your triggers as gifts. And it's what makes you human, because
Mhm.
if we didn't have anger, if we didn't have grief, if we didn't have those, we'd be very raw, like think about it, very un oh what's the word I'm thinking? We wouldn't have like a personality.
Yeah. Hmm. Exactly.
Everybody would be the same.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And another really, for me, it feels like a great way to see how this works and how we interact with each other and why people cross our paths, why experiences cross our paths, is that every, what I say is every character, every character in our lives, whether it's a person or an idea like money or your conditions or circumstances, it's it's playing a role in our inner drama. And that's
mhm,
all about taking that personal responsibility. And once somebody has gone far enough on their healing journey to where they've created enough safety in their body to accept that, because
mhm,
you'll realize, I'm sure you see, especially in the work that you've done, is you see people who are just not ready for that. They're like, no, you don't understand what they did to me, what
Yeah.
happened. Like, and they're really committed to, no, I can forgive everybody but that person
Yeah.
or whatever that is. They, they really are staying there in that level of consciousness that says, I am a victim. But
Mm.
when somebody gets out of that stage, which many people do once they learn this communication, this language, is and I remember the moments I it was a switch for me, going from victim consciousness to, oh my God, it's all me. The good
Yeah.
news and the bad news is there's no one to blame.
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's amazing because now I get to write the script. And I was going through a heated, high conflict custody battle in court with my ex husband and telling everybody, can you believe he did this? Oh, and then he did this and this and this. And can you believe it? And I had people rallying around me to go, oh my God, he's horrible. Let it, you know, and until this one woman said to me, Gina, drop the story. Nobody cares. And nobody needs to hear that. And it was in that moment that I was like, holy moly, you're right. And so every single experienced person character is playing a role in our inner drama. And when we take that pen and I call it writing the plot twist. I'm about to teach a 3-day training on plot twist where we go, oh, why did I have that relationship with that person? And we look at everything that we judge in others as denied aspects of ourselves
Hmm.
that we learned early on. This is part of that training from early on, where it's not safe to be greedy or wealthy or lazy. And we give these special labels to things that we were taught it wasn't safe. If I say, hey, I want, an ice cream, and your dad says, what do you think money grows on trees, or whatever those sayings are, whatever we learn, I want to be an artist. There's no money in that. We
Hmm.
learn scripts early on. And when we do this work, we create enough safety to inquire, ooh, I was just triggered by that. What is that bringing up in me?
Hmm.
And we can go deep into digging out that stuff. And in digging up the shadows, bringing light to the shadows, we also find our gold because we've buried gold in the crevices of our lives, of our psyche. And our gold starts to come out, and that's our gift.
Absolutely. I like one of the analogies of, so if somebody's listening and they're like, well, why do I need to do the emotional healing? I'm not the one with the problem.
Right?
That's
Yep.
exactly why you get to do the
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah. And
And
it's really easy to go, well, he's, never gets off the couch, or he's hoarding money and he's controlling, or all of these things that we're pointing a finger at. The mirror, that is the mirror. The world is the mirror. And like you said earlier, when we start to treat ourselves with a level of self respect, the world starts to treat ourselves that way too. And it's like, it's magic. It's freaking
yes,
magic.
and I know too, like people are here to teach us through inspiration or through contrast. And so if you could adapt the capability to see everyone you come across as a teacher to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're teaching you something through contrast, something you don't like or something you do like. Every person you come across is teaching you more about where you're at and gives you an awareness to say, is this how I want to continue to be? Or
Yeah.
is this, I want to continue to be more like that?
Yeah.
So if you can, the one thing I said, I remember when I had the perspective shift from judgment to curiosity. Now I see every
Mm-hmm.
human and being that I come across as so, I'm so curious. I'm like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me
Mm-hmm.
more, tell me more about you. What have you had experienced that you like, just tell me more about you. Like I want to know more, especially with people um that activate
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ask, I pray, God, like tell me like I can't imagine what they've been through. Like that
Right.
must have been, they must have had a really interesting past.
Yeah.
And so coming from curiosity and like sometimes if you're curious more and if you're vulnerable enough and courageous enough to open up and actually build a relationship with somebody that triggers you and ask more questions,
Mhm.
sometimes they're not ready, y'all, especially for
Right.
those of us that have a deeper level of healing, because some of the times if we ask questions, they might be have that protective layer up and they may like not be like, why do you want to know? Or they may come
Yeah.
off as like not being interested. So use discernment with that. But it's just been such a pleasure and joy for me to be able to have those conversations with people that once triggered me. And right now, there's an example. Right now, I go downtown to the little coffee shop where I live, and there's a homeless guy with the cutest puppy there. And every time I
Hmm.
see him, I said, I'm going to stop and talk to you every time I see you and ask you how
Hmm.
you're doing and to have conversations with him because, you know, the reality is we are all one decision away from being in that person's position.
Hmm.
And there's nothing different. Like we are all so deeply connected and I believe like how you treat one person, you treat everybody. And that's why us empaths and like sensitive people, it's hard for us to set boundaries with people because we don't like like I know for me, I every time I had when I in 2019 when I got professional help for what I was going through at that time because I'm like I can't continue to live like this. I saw the story I was playing out in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't live this life. So I need help. I need outside help to help me. And I remember the woman I got to help me, she's like, be afraid, like you're probably gonna feel like you're gonna die when you set a boundary, but you're not gonna die, okay?
Right. Yeah, for
So
sure.
getting
Yeah.
help too, like when you want to do that plot twist, because if you're changing,
Hmm.
there's no, it's guaranteed other people are gonna change.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean the boundaries is work and the stepping out of your comfort zone. That is like outside of your comfort zone is where change happens. And we have this way we've lived, and like say you build a boat and your boat just kind of goes around in the harbor, but you are wanting to explore lands, and you go out of the harbor, and then the the boat, you have to build a boat that can handle the rougher seas. And that's what happens when we are surrounded by people who reflect back to us our strength. And the like so about like the people who are triggering us in either way, like you said, contrasting ways or inspiring ways. I love to say, like, you spot it, you got it. If there's somebody you're like, oh my gosh, wow, I love how they're doing that. That's so, oh, she's so like, she has such stage presence, or she's so eloquent, or, how does she parent like that? You've got that in you. You've sparked that curiosity. And then when we judge people for behaving in ways that we have denied is acceptable, we've got that in us too. And when I teach a healing methodology that helps to recognize the triggers and then go through this process to integrate those unwanted characteristics into our personality for our
Mhm.
wholeness. And when we integrate, like, oh yeah, I've seen where I've been greedy, or I've been selfish, or I've been this or that, what happens automatically is we then stop judging people for those character traits. They feel that because the energy is felt by others. And
Mhm.
then people feel safe enough to be more of who they are. And that's how you start to attract a very different relationship with maybe the same people you already know, but new people. And it's just the stuff going on behind the scenes that we can't see when we do these things that seem innocuous, like say we start meditating and we start to meet ourselves differently and we start to be comfortable with ourselves in no distraction time. That changes us on such an energetic level that
Mhm.
the world responds to us differently. And
Yeah.
it's so fun.
one of the meditations I take people through is closing their eyes and like visualizing this white screen
Mm-hmm.
and imagining that you don't have any previous experiences and coming back to like your source of creation, that force of infinite potential, infinite unconditional love, and allowing yourself every day to just feel that for like three to
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what I realized that it's like it clears your energy field too, because a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that we have is like we're pulling from our brain stores these experiences we have, and our body's still responding from
Yeah.
those past experiences. And also, this is why I say when you become awakened to this information, be gentle with yourself because it takes time for the body to catch up when you're changing these things. Like it could take up to like I know for me, it took me the first year when I was changing, I cried like every day for like the first year,
Mm-hmm.
just grieving the past version of myself that allowed so much turmoil to take me out of my flow. And now I like if something happens, I
Yeah.
like it kicks back. I could say it used to be like a day or two, like after my first year, it came down like usually if something happened that triggered me. After my first year in recovery, I was like, it lasts about a day, but now it's like no more than 5 minutes. I give
Yeah.
myself
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes to be in self-pity and
Yeah.
woe is me. And then I pick myself up and like, nope, we're not doing that today. Don't have
Right.
time for that. I'm gonna go
Right.
do something else.
Yeah.
So
And
it's like it takes time. It takes time.
yeah, I mean, the healing is a journey, healing and then expansion. It's all a journey, and it's just like it's all right here, right now, too.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes you'll have like these big, trajectory changing experiences, and then sometimes you'll plateau and be kind of feel like you're stuck, but you're really not because stuff is happening below the surface.
Right.
And like when we bring the body on board through whatever, breath work or even, there's all these different ways now, there's so many modalities of healing on the nervous system level,
Hmm.
NLP practices. And those are some of the things that I teach, like to bring yourself back into presence when you're going into um, worry or regret, um, and coming back to presence. There's so many ways that we can do that. And as you're talking about, like, it takes time to heal and sometimes it doesn't, and
Yeah.
it's all like, well, what story do I want to tell? Also, as you were saying something just now, I was thinking of something related to the journey, and I forget what it was, what I was picking up on, but the the idea of healing, one of the things that, like, I want to see more people doing is leaving behind that I'm healing energy and
Hmm.
be like, there's nothing to heal. I'm here with
Living.
me. I am living. I am engaging in my life. And when something comes up, sometimes, yeah, we can go, no, we're not doing that today. Because we know that that's just a habit of thought, pulling us into, because we're not well resourced. And by being well resourced, I mean, I take my clients back to basics. If you're finding yourself depressed and stuck and triggered and angry by something that you've moved beyond, that's because have you slept? Are you eating well? Have you moved your body? Have you connected with self? Back to
Yeah.
basics. It's all free stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, no, this is something I need to be with, and
Mm.
knowing the difference, using discernment to go, nope, that's old story, I'm done with that. I'm going to shift my energy. I'm going to dance or shake or jump or run or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I need to sit with this because this is feeling, there's something here to go in and, explore within me. I had that experience just this weekend. where
Yeah.
I was dealing with something with a family member, and it was like, ooh, okay, I feel that, and I'm going to be with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but we get to decide. That's the
yeah,
thing. We get to
it's the
decide
self trust. Yeah.
how long you want to sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no right or wrong way to do it because you get to choose like how long do you want to stay there and then you can pick yourself up and there's so many tools available right now to like from on the body level, like
Yeah.
going for a walk, shaking, dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of the practices that has for me because of just from my eye surgeries and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
I've had to be more creative with ways that it doesn't stay in the body. One of
Yeah.
the things I get to do is I lay flat down on my stomach on my bed and I take a couple deep breaths and I allow my body to recalibrate and
Yeah.
then I can get back up and go again. And
I
then
love it.
so, just like our bodies are guiding us and what they need.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure
Mhm.
you realize through the recovery stuff that you've done and worked on, and um, like how people will kind of disassociate their body from their life experience, and they have like their emotional body, their intellectual body, and then their physical body and their spiritual body are all separate, like they're all doing their own thing. But when we bring it all into integration all together and alignment, that's when our we move forward fast in our lives. There's such a we become a force of nature and pursue our dreams. Things happen, we manifest, and life is very different when
Yeah,
pulling that alignment together.
absolutely. Absolutely. I was just thinking about some of the weird things I've used
Mm-hmm.
just so I could feel really good today in this present
Mm-hmm.
moment
Yeah.
and like how resourceful I became.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's so much. There's infinite ways to put your physical, mental, and spiritual being into alignment and I would just encourage you all to find which way works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, really, there are so many ways. And like for me, yoga does so much that there's no way to explain it. Being in nature, walking, like I walk every day and I have to physically move my body a lot just because that's what works for me. And for my mom, it's like she needs to be surrounded by nature. She's an artist and she's a gardener and she has this beautiful garden and that just lifts her spirits. And it's what bring when we listen to our inner guidance, we follow the excitement, we follow what lights us up, and that's that's the path.
Hmm. Well,
um
physical movement is so important because everyone, just to explain it, emotions, energies move through our body. So we need to recycle it. That's why we move.
yeah.
And movement doesn't have to be going to the gym for an hour a day. It could be anything that brings you joy and helps you feel good today. Because when you
Hmm.
feel good, then you do good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's funny how like there's one of my mentors says, there's a war on happy people. It's like people are like, wait, it can't be that easy just to follow what feels good. And it's actually, yes, it can be. And as you allow yourself the freedom to follow what feels good, like, for example, I've been doing this coaching business for 10 years. And I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not how you have to do it. You have to do it like this." And this is and it's just like, "Well, no, I can't. I literally can't. My body won't allow me to." And now I've finally got this freedom to say, I have to do it the way that feels good to me. I have to do these intimate retreats with women where we get into beautiful homes and we do this work that changes everything. And it's like that is the way, is to follow what feels good for you, and you remove all the layers of conditioning and programming through the triggers that come up when you tell yourself it shouldn't be easy, I should be struggling, I should be suffering. I should be punishing myself. And when we develop that self-love for what we are experiencing and trusting that, we can't be stopped.
Yeah. I would like to say, I think we've all punished ourselves enough. I think enough is enough with the punishing.
Yes. Take
Hmm.
that pen and cross that off the list. We're done punishing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
time to allow more love in than ever before. And the more people who are doing this type of work and like you are broadcasting this energy out into the world, the more humanity heals and evolves and feels it. And
Hmm.
you're sending a signal of love.
Yeah. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Gina. This has been beautiful. And I just want to take some time today to wrap this up and honor the sacred space that we just created.
Thank
Just take
you.
a
Thank you
moment.
so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Let me ask you, where can people find you? Where's
They can find me on Instagram is really where I'm most active lately. Uh,
okay.
Gina, Gina underscore Brogan, Brogan
Okay.
underscore magic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All righty. Do you have any questions for me or anything deep on your heart that you feel like needs to come out before we end the session today?
No, I really love this just casual conversation about magic and healing and the power of the broadcasting love.
Mhm. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, I'm dedicated to this, especially after finding a way to start my podcast and starting my YouTube channel. I prayed, like, how can I not just make this about me? How can I honor others on their journey and share the message that I know so many of us are on this journey right now, where we're just committed because we get to,
Yeah.
simply because we get to
What a gift. Yeah.
share the gift of unconditional love with others. So
Right.
with
Yeah.
that,
Congratulations to you.
yeah, thank you. I All right, everyone. I just wanted to wrap up today here, and you know how to find us. And my contact information is in the show notes. So if you have any questions or general curiosities, feel free to reach out anytime. I respond to all emails myself, and I love you guys so much. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.